Another early voting record in the state of Georgia today. This has been so impressive to watch the turnout here. Gabriel Sterling with the Secretary of State's office saying a whopping 350,000 people cast ballots today on this, the last day of early voting. The Secretary of State's office says more than 1.5 million Georgians have already voted in the runoff.
Turnout is expected to be very high on Tuesday as well, as a lot of voters like to cast their ballot on the day of Election Day. Abby Casares found out those Election Day voters could be what tips the scale in this race.
Biggest question out there at this point is how many people will show up on Election Day.
At Landmark Communications, Mark Rountree is crunching numbers.
And that will come out too.
It's called voter modeling, which uses public record to predict which party a voter might align. His data suggests that Warnock leads Walker 55% to 45%, with around 1.5 million people voting early. Rountree says this is no surprise.
Warnock is probably doing better in early vote than he will do on Election Day. This is generally true in Georgia, that Democrats do better in early voting. Republicans show up in bigger numbers on Election Day.
He expects more than 1 million people to vote on Election Day and expects 60% or more of those votes for the Republican candidate, Herschel Walker.
Trump carried 61% of the vote on Election Day. Kemp carried substantially higher than that just a few weeks ago. So there is a threshold. The question is, how many people are going to vote?
If turnout remains high, Georgia might not have final results on Tuesday night.
If it's a one-point race, which this really could potentially be, then you're potentially talking about a recount, and you're potentially talking about lawsuits to make sure that only legal voters can vote. That could impact the speed by which an official winner is called.
Abby Casares, Atlanta News First.
The ACLU of